Hello and welcome to 7F5R Live on Instagram. This is the 55th episode of this series. It is the 12th of October 2022, currently 2:45 p.m. on a cloudy Wednesday afternoon here in Singapore. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're watching this live or as a recording. My name is Stephanie Jennifer. I'm a CZT21 and I'll be your host for this session. And in just a bit, I'll be joined by my co-host Debbie New, CZT18. We're so happy to have you here today.
Hello. Wonder if you can hear me. So today I'm back at the studio. Haven't been at the studio for a while. Haven't had a live show at the studio for a while. So we're both here at the studio, and when that happens, we can't both talk at the same time. So might be a slightly quieter live show.
And Susan is not here.
Yeah, and Susan is not here today. She's not joining us today. So we hope that you enjoy the stuff that we've prepared.
So today marks the second week of Inktober Tangles 2022. So we'll be picking 3 tangles from day 8 through 14 of the tangle prompt list. If you haven't already downloaded the handout, you should. You'll get the prompt list, and also if you click on the names of the tangles, it'll lead you to the particular tangles step out. So it's a very nice resource to have. I also have some of the example artworks listed within the handout, so that's always nice. Yeah, we'll be tangling together for the next hour and a half, perhaps 2 hours, answering some questions, just generally hanging out together. If you'd like to tangle along with us, we encourage you to take a tile, take some pens, either copy what we're doing or go on your own little tangling adventure. We'll be sharing you a string and 3 tangles. Yeah. So Debbie, what are you using today? I see you have an interesting array of tiles.
So because I didn't bring my full Tangle kit today, so I just have like a Micron 01 and a Jelly Roll 10 that I brought from home, and then I've got like whatever I have on my desk basically, which is shared with the girls at the studio. I've brought 4 tiles with me, so I've got 2 apprentice size 7FIR tiles, and I think these were tinted by Stephanie earlier. This one says rambling rose pink and yodeling yellow. And then I don't know what this one is because she didn't write anything. And then I tinted these 2 other ones. So this one is a Ecoline. Ecoline doesn't have any mica in it. So this is Ecoline liquid watercolor. And I think it's actually 2 colors. It's actually aquamarine. No. What's the blue one, Steph? Do you remember? Yeah. Well, it's a blue and a purple. Violet, I think. And then this one is sweet violet purple teal and get me with a spoon. Great. So these 3 are magicals, tinted with magicals, and then this one is tinted with Ecoline. I have 4 tiles here, but I probably might not be able to finish all 4. Like Steph says, we have like 3 tangles that we're exploring, so I'll probably go with the Ecoline first and then progress through the rest.
As for me, I have my Project Pack 6. So this is the No Mistakes Journal. I'm going to continue filling it out. So I've been working on this page in particular. And then I have a tinted tile, tinted with Lindy's Gang Magicals. Green. I know that this is yodeling yellow because it's of how neon bright it is. I think the green might be Gunta green? Not sure.
Seems like a Laurel, Leader.
Leader Hosen Laurel. Yeah. They're very interesting names. Yeah. Here at studio, we're actually trying to swatch out our entire collections of Lindy's Gang Magical.
Sure.
A lot lah. A lot.
Yeah.
So it's a whole collection.
Well, that's not even all of it.
Yeah. So there's that. And then I have a tiny little black bijou that Debbie gave to me today that I'm probably going to tangle in silver on. Yeah, so that's what I'm working with. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Zentangle Inc actually switched out their manufacturer, their supplier for paper. So the old tiles, if you've been within the CZT or within the tangling community for a long while, and you have an old batch of tiles, if you compare them to the newer ones, it feels different. It also visually looks different as well. This is a different shade of black to the new ones that Zentangle Inc.
Texture is different.
Yeah, texture is different. So this is more rough. Yeah. So this is fun. Let's see what I create. Yeah, so I'll be sharing today's string. Today's string is going to be created with radial lines. Let me see whether, alright. Let me open this up so that I have more drawing space. Basically, if you have a square tile, so to say this is my tile, Susan says that she'd like for you to start from a point on your tile. So it can be anywhere. Let's just start from here. And then you're going to extend your from that point to the corners of your tile. It doesn't have to be exactly in the corner. It can be something like this, perhaps. Right? We can do giving you some other options. For example, starting from this point. Oh, or it can be with a border if you like. Maybe I might want to lower your camera a bit. Can't really see what you're doing. You're drawing a bit.
Lower it.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's the problem with this stand.
Okay.
See? That's the lower.
Okay lah, can lah. As long as you're tangling within screen, can.
Well, I can move it like that.
Ah, yeah, can.
That's not exactly lower. But
It works, yeah. Alright, so whatever tile you have, you can add to it. I'm going to be using my large tile.
how many spokes do we have?
She said to the corners of the tile, so I'm assuming that it's 4 spokes.
Ah.
You want to add more also can, I'm quite sure Susan will not.
6.
Okay, can give more corners to your tile. Maybe if you have a hexagonal tile, maybe that will work. But I don't think Susan will like mind and say like, oh, you cannot have more spokes.
She's not here anyway.
So bad that you do naughty things. She will watch the recording one. Okay. So this is mine.
I think the last time that she wasn't here, she didn't watch also.
Oh, 偷懒. Alright, so you can see on screen also, we've picked out 3 tangles. We've chosen Finery by Zentangle Inc, Bravensword by Debbie New, this Debbie, our Debbie, and then and then Sumu by Lin Chiu. So a lot of people wrote in to say that they like Sumu because on Lin Chiu's step outs, she shows different ways to draw Sumu. Debbie also has many different ways to draw Bravensword. And Debbie has also said that she'll be teaching us a different way to draw slide hat. Because some people have said that it looks kind of poopy. So she's going to show you how to make it less poopy and more elegant. Yeah. I'm not saying that the tangle looks poopy. Yeah, don't take my words out of context. I'm just saying some people have drawn. Some people also have said that they found it difficult to draw Finery. So we thought that it would be nice to tangle it together. Yeah. So Finery, I'll start with Finery since it's the first tangle listed. Finery is what I've never struggled with Finery. Debbie, you say you struggle with Finery. What is it that you struggle with Finery about?
Well, I think back then, when I started Zentangle, it was like 2014 or 2013, you know? And, now these days we have like YouTube, we have like Instagram Live, everybody's tangling, online, and it's very dynamic in a sense because you get to see how people do it. But back then when I started, right, there weren't so many video tutorials. most people would just do step outs, if any. And Finery wasn't one that was very popular to step out. I think there was only the official Zentangle Inc step out at that time, and I couldn't conceptualize it, for the life of me, because I didn't realize there was parallel lines. I always thought that the lines were like radiating. Yeah, so because when you start out at a point versus with a gap, then you get a different outcome. So I always saw it as starting from a point, I think, and that was the basis of my mistake. Um, I think I only got it after a seminar, probably. Yeah, like when I attended in Rhode Island in person. That was like 2015. Another tangle that I couldn't understand was Fangle. Yeah, Fangle is not easy. When you look at the step outs, you don't get it. Yeah, you need to see someone actually drawing it, either on video or live in person. Sorry?
Kelly was the one that made me get it.
Yeah, so she's interrupting me to say that Kelly Barone was the one who helped her get it.
Organically talking to you.
She's organically talking to me, apparently. Okay.
So this is how to draw finery. I usually start off with a set of 3 lines at the very least. It has to be 3, so that you got both sides of finery. So if you draw these parallel, not quite parallel, these starting lines slightly further apart, you get more space to draw your finery in, and you can add more embellishments inside of it. If you draw more narrow, it's not to say that it's wrong, it's just a little more difficult. So if you compare this to, say, this, I will have a lot less space for this. So I might have only enough space to draw one little eye rather than a little eye with a little extra O on the top. Yeah, it's not wrong. You're just drawing curved S shapes. Yeah, relaxed S shapes. So that's how I would draw finery. Debbie, would you like to show us fun things to do with Bravensword?
Not sure what fun things she means, but I managed to so because I had my original step out at the studio for some reason, and I basically am going to bring it home today, so it was a good timing all around. So this is actually the original step outs to Bravensword that I created. I know you can't see it, I'll hold it up in a while. So it's very rarely that I come out with a tangle that has so many variations. In fact, it just kind of flows, because once you start drawing Ravensword, then you start to see all the different potentials of this tangle. So I'm gonna hold it up and show you. The first version that I came out with was actually the one with 2 orbs. So this was the version that I actually managed to step out on the last day of Brenda Shaver's 69th year. And I think after that, I kind of like decided that, oh, you can actually embellish it in many ways. And then I came up with like, what if you don't want 2 and you just want 1? Does it work? So then you have like a singles version. So you have like the friendship version where you have a friend, and then you have like the singles version. And I thought that this would be cute. You know how we tend to use poke leaf and other leafy tangles. This would be cute to be another leaf tangle. So I'm just gonna move a little bit. It's kind of like a strange angle. Bear with me. So after I came up with the version with 2 orbs and the version with 1 orb, I realized that it would actually look pretty nice as a quartet. So then there was a quartet version. And then me being me, I didn't stop at the quartet. I decided to do a sextet. And then from here, of course, you can add more. You can even add more Bravensword like between the other petals. And also, you realize that there are many ways to draw this, in the sense that you are not necessarily having to close off this petal. So this one has like a very interesting petal that's not closed. And then some people prefer to have it closed, so that's up to you. Like this one, this is a closed petal. And then after that, I decided to create a border version. I guess there are more ways than this to draw a border version, but I thought this was pretty fun. I mean, I hardly ever, uh, well, I usually don't like do border versions that often of my tangles. But I thought that this was quite a interesting idea I had. And of course, the fragment versions. So next year, one of the fragments that we will use at FYIC 2023 would be a Bravensword fragment. So I'm not decided yet which one I'll pick. So we'll see. Yeah. Next year, I'll be hosting the FYIC challenge with Ildika Boy, our friend. Yeah. So I'm just gonna grab a towel and let me try and zoom in. Yeah. So Bravensword, just do a quick demo. So let's do the one with like two orbs. Okay, so you start out with two orbs, with a bit of a distance. I like to call it a social distance. And then 6. So you create a 6 and then you create a 9. So just these strokes actually create like a half a leaf already. And I like to connect the orbs, and connecting this way gives you the rest of the leaf. And then of course, this is the basic shape. You can choose to embellish it in such a way that, you know, it kind of looks like a kala lily. And my other favorite way is to embellish the rest of the leaf like that, so that, you know, it gives it a bit more of a depth to it. And of course, if you have more ops, or if you decide that, you know, suddenly it looks kind of lonely like that, you can always extend out more ops this way. Right? And then, of course, if you have space, you can do a fourth one here, which I don't think I have space for, but you can sort of go at it. Okay, so I like to embellish my, you know how we do like a fold on our poke leaf. So you know how our poke leaf, maybe I'm drawing a bit low. Let me try and zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So usually when we draw our poke leaf, we try to draw like a fold or like maybe ruffles, right? To sort of embellish and give it like a more 3D effect. You can actually do that on your Bravensword as well. It will look more organic. And then of course, let's do the poke leaf, the classic way of folding. Right. So it's up to you how you want to embellish the petal. You can also add dots. And I've seen someone sort of add to the side as well. So different ways to add to Bravensword. And then of course this one is slightly different from your norm. So you can also add a third leaf at the side. So there are many ways. I also like to sort of fill in the middle of the Bravensword just to give it like a more defined center. Oh, am I off screen? Steph, can you see? Yeah, if I'm off screen, please let me know because I'm just not used to this setup. So as you can see, there are many ways to draw it. Just go with the one that you feel better or feel more comfortable drawing, because the main idea behind Inktober is to sort of challenge yourself and sort of explore new things, not necessarily to stress yourself out, right? So that's Bravensword. Am I supposed to do the other one now? No, right? Yeah, okay. So she's gonna show you Sumu, I think, the one that everyone says is difficult to draw.
We had a comment in 7FIR challenge group on Facebook that Sumu looks like ghosts. Little ghosts. Yeah, see? So you see, they look like, is it just the head part of the ghost? Then the two little hands. Ooh. Yeah, now every time. I used to see it as a flower, but now I do see the ghost. Anyways, on that note, before we continue, if you'd like to watch a recording of today's session, you can watch it on our Instagram at 7forests5rivers, or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/7f5r studio. If you tangle along with us, or if you draw any of the tangles in Inktober Tangles, the tangle prompt list, do post your tiles in the 7f5r challenge group on Facebook. It's 7f5r challenge directly on Facebook, or you can go to bit.ly/fb7f5r. Yeah. Or you can find Debbie, or rather, you can look at her artwork on her personal Instagram page at tangled.pursuits, and I'm at halfpen_will draw. Susan, who is not here today, but usually she streams with us. You can catch her next week, hopefully. She's at susanyeo.czt. Yeah. And of course, the official hashtag for Inktober Tangles this year is Inktober Tangles 2022. Yeah. So for Debbie, we can't see you tangling at all, just FYI.
Yeah, I'm very not used to this.
Yeah, just letting you know. Alright, so Sumu, the basic shape to it, the basic shape to it is this little almost S curve, and then you draw a U shape, and then an M. And that's why it's called Sumu, right? If you want, you can have mirroring shapes.
There's another tangle that looks like that. Is it easy?
Easy.
By...
This is difficult.
What's her name? Emiko?
Kaneko.
I think so.
How to spell? Easy?
E-Z-E?
Easy. Oh, yeah. I might have heard it.
Like that?
Yeah. So anyways, if you have the little triangle shape, not triangle, sorry, square shape. Square and triangle very different, right? You're going to draw the curve following along this curved diamond shape that you have. Right? So it becomes like this. And then you're just repeating the same idea. So this, and then am I drawing it correctly? No, I've drawn it wrong. Oh, but this looks fancy. Salah. Come, balik. Little diamond shape, little curves. This is correct. I just curved it the wrong way. So it's this way. And then this way. Yes, there we go. This is an interesting shape too. I wonder if I could explore it further.
Yeah, but it's going to confuse everyone.
Yeah, okay, let's do this exploration off screen. Basically, the basic shape of it is this. If you like to explore the different variations of it, Lin Chiu actually shows us a linear way to draw it, a radial way to draw it. So it's lots of fun. You can explore it. Now, if you like to see how Debbie draws her Bravensword sword, she has a wonderful blog post on it with different explorations towards the end of that blog post. So you should definitely check out her blog post. You can find all of the step outs to all of the tangles listed for Inktober Tangles 2022 in the Inktober Tangles handout. You can also find all of the past year's Inktober Tangles list that I've created at bit.ly/Inktober Tangles. That's bit.ly/Inktober Tangles. So the past year's lists are there. Some in very, very early years, I didn't have handouts. It was just, here you go, here's the list. Then I met Debbie, and then Debbie taught me a better way to do it. So make a nice handout, have the little step outs inside of it. Very clever. Yeah. So again, if you're just joining us, we're tangling together. We've chosen 3 different Tangles from Inktober Tangles 2022, chosen Finery, Bravensword, and Sumu. We're using a string that has radial lines starting from a single point. So you can try that as well. If you want to go on your own little tangling adventure and just hang out with us for the next hour or so, you can also do that.
So can I ask you why you didn't want to have handouts in the beginning? Oh, she says she's lazy. Oh, okay.
Didn't think of it also.
A very honest answer. Yeah, I guess also challenges over the years have evolved lah. Yeah. So last time there used to be a challenge called the Beaver Challenge, and that one existed off a blog, right? Yeah. So I think also challenges have evolved, like free challenges have evolved. Yeah. So how do you feel having like so many Inktober's under your belt, Stephanie?
So many Inktober's. Time is passing. Today, Debbie Debbie said something very interesting. She says, "We're all dying anyways." Right? Was that what you said? Taken out of context, but she was saying.
No, I said when we are born, the moment we are born, we are beginning to die. And then she calls me morbid. But I'm saying it's the fact of life. I mean, we are all born and then we are all, onwards going towards death at some point. Like either you die early or later, right? Shall we start with the questions? Because we're like rambling with I don't know what we're talking about now. Yeah, okay, so maybe today we have like 5 questions. Do you want the silly one or do you want the I don't know, you want to choose? Do you want the sane one or the insane one? Oh, I have it here that I have to tell you that actually Bravensword has a Chinese name. Yeah, because one of our students from Taiwan actually tangled along with us and she helped us to pick our name, which is 勇气剑. Well, maybe I should write it down in Chinese. Let's see if I know how to write. 勇气剑. Okay. Chinese is not my strength. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I don't know what I'm doing. 勇气剑. 剑 is sword. Okay, so that's my horrible Chinese writing. Okay, so Steph doesn't want to choose, but I will help us choose. I'll choose the silly question first. How about that? Okay, Steph, what would you prefer? I don't know why I wrote this question, but I presume that, it's a very broad question. What would you prefer? Not necessary to be or to eat or to do anything in particular, but what would you prefer, potato or pretzel and why?
Potato or pretzel?
Yeah, a potato or a pretzel and why?
Why potato and pretzel? So different things. You say how you like a potato, at least it feels.
Which do you prefer?
I like the stick pretzels. Cause the pretzel got like the fancy loopy kind. I like the stick kind.
What's a stick kind?
Potato. Yeah, it's stick pretzel is a thing. Stick pretzel is a thing.
That's a biscuit.
No. Stick pretzel is a thing.
It is a biscuit.
Well, I mean, then does that mean that all pretzels are biscuits?
No.
Then they're showing me Pocky. Pocky is not pretzel lah, dear. Here, stick pretzel. Google. See? Stick pretzel.
Yeah, but it's
like this.
Biscuit what?
Well, I mean, then are all pretzels biscuits?
I suppose.
Then what? Pocky is Japanese pretzels.
Biscuit.
Okay, you say Pocky is pretzel, I say okay, can. But pretzel is biscuit. Maybe because
Pocky is pretzel, you say can.
no, Pocky is biscuit, can. Maybe it's because to me biscuit is sweet.
The question is not, do you prefer pocky or pretzel? The question is, do you prefer potato or pretzel? Not. Oh my gosh.
Pretzel, pretzel.
Why?
Why ah? Don't know leh. Got like instinctual feeling that I like pretzel more. Maybe, but then potato can got a lot of different ways to make it. Can make French fries. Can make hash brown. Pretzel is just pretzel, but potato can make a lot of things. Okay lah, go potato just because it's more versatile, I guess.
Well, my answer is potato because it's gluten free.
Oh yeah?
I think I wrote this question before I have realized that I had a gluten intolerance that is pretty severe, or getting to be pretty severe. I don't know what it is though. I feel like I'm reacting to everything. Yeah. So I think I prefer the potato because yeah, so primarily it's gluten free. And then secondly, I think it's more of something that you can eat often rather than a pretzel which is more like a snack. Like you can actually have a meal with a potato, but your pretzel is always going to be more of like a casual, not a sit down dinner kind of food, right? Yeah, so I think potato for me. Well, if you have a preference between pretzel and potato, you can always write to us in the chat as well. And you can always tell us why. You want me to go on to the next question, Steph? Okay, so another silly question that I have is, hang on, let me strike out this one. Okay, if you were a mythical creature, Stephanie, what would you be? Creature, please, not a food. Knowing her, have to give the disclaimer first.
Mythical creature ah. What kind of mythical dragon unicorn mermaid Hmm. Griffin. What kind of mythical creature? I guess I wouldn't mind being a dragon. The idea of having powers of flight sounds interesting.
But then being a dragon, right? You probably set fire to everything.
Why?
Burn down the house, burn down the kitchen.
Not my house, it's okay. Dragon got kitchen.
I don't know. I'm just saying you burn stuff down I guess.
Well, maybe if I'm a dragon, I'll be more careful as a dragon than a human being.
I really don't think it works that way. Yeah. Being a business partner for 4 years, right? There's nothing that she hasn't broke yet lah.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, she did manage to not set my kitchen on fire though.
Yes.
But and I didn't tell you this, Steph. You didn't switch off the oven, so it was actually running until the next day. That's
My oven got no. Once it's done, it's done. You will not. Did it continue running?
yeah, cause the main switch was still on.
Was it cooking?
No, but it was still on
Okay.
My point is that it's still on, and you didn't wipe it, so it was oily.
I didn't know I had wipe.
Oh my gosh.
No instructions given.
Excuse me.
Not my house, not my oven. Oily oven.
I don't know what mythical creature I would be though. Maybe a gnome or An elf.
Why?
Mm,
Fairy and all.
yeah. Like, I mean, fairies can fly also, what?
Yeah,
Right,
right.
logically. Yeah. Well, I guess for me, right, I kind of like being in the countryside. So for me, being a mythical creature without being in the countryside is like no point lah.
The countryside dragon.
Steph says you can be a countryside dragon, well and good, but then you have to live in a cave, right? I suppose. I don't want to live in a cave.
No, like that.
That's not what a gnome is. She's doing this very funny flapping thing.
Lie down in the grass.
That's not a gnome. Ugh. I feel like we made a mistake asking this question.
I got a funny story.
Okay, she has a funny story. I'll mute myself.
So that Boyer, okay, if I remember correctly, that Boyer said she's not the person who created this idea, but that Boyer had this Angie Gittles, is it? Okay, Angie Gittles was the original creator, but I saw that Boyer's rendition of the little tangled gnomes one Christmas. And I was like, oh, this is such a cute idea, you know? And then as my brain processed the idea, then it was like, would it be nice if like you made a female gnome? So I drew a female gnome. And then when I finished it, I was like, oh, it looks like Charlotte, my daughter. So I brought the finished drawing to Charlotte. I was like, look. And she was like, wow, it's so nice. And then she was picking it up, looking at it. And I was like, it looks like you. And then she immediately frowned. No, it does not look like me. And then the same Christmas, I remember I dressed her in a red shirt. And then she stood in front of a Christmas tree at Gardens by the Bay and she took a photo. So the gnome is also a red colour gnome. Then it looks very similar to her. That's a funny memory that I keep in my head. Charlotte the gnome. Offended. Why I want to be gnome and elf? Elf like small elf or like large size human elf? Like from like the what's the name? The book.
What's a large size elf?
What's that franchise called?
What franchise?
Eye of Mordor. What's the
Lord of the Rings.
Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh. I think you really have to know somebody for 4 years, right? To know the kind of nonsense she sprouts and understand her language and as well as her flappy I don't know what she was doing just now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so that's the kind of relationship we have. Eh, what's the problem? An elf is an elf lah. Why?
Aren't gnomes supposed to be lucky?
I don't know. Have you met one?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a gnome.
Okay, now she wants to be a gnome also. Yeah, why do you want to be a gnome suddenly? You were saying you want to be a dragon.
I forgot about gnomes and fairies.
So do you want to answer the question all over again then?
Don't I? No, I don't want to answer again. I was just wondering, big size, small size elf. Oh, we have lost Debbie. She needs to rejoin us. Hold on. Maybe, but I'm thinking about it. Maybe I'm like Tinkerbell, you know, like that kind of fairy. Yeah, in the story Peter Pan, so I can continue my story because Debbie can still hear me. In the story Peter Pan, oh, in the story Peter Pan, the Tinkerbell, apparently if like you don't give them attention, they'll die. So maybe I'm like that. If you don't give me attention, I will die. So maybe I'm a fairy.
That explains a lot. Yeah. And then what's wrong with me saying that we are all headed towards death?
So morbid.
Yeah, you say if you don't have attention, you will die, what? So that kind of saying is allowed, but then my kind of saying is not allowed. Mine is factual, you know? Yeah.
Relax.
So maybe you should answer the question all over again. Since you are like suddenly it's Tinkerbell also. Well, she does look a bit like. Maybe I should pan my camera. Ta-da! Where is she? There you go. So she certainly is dressed for the part. Yeah.
Or like Alex. Her birthday story.
I should mute myself, then you can tell the.
Yeah, Alex. Well, my husband Alex. I think it was last year. He was saying, "Oh, it's your birthday." I was like, "Yeah." Then he's like 1 year older. Then I was like, "Yeah." And he was like 1 year closer to your grave. Then I'm like, "Excuse me." So it's the similar kind of energy as soon as you're born, we're all gonna dying. Oh no.
I didn't say as soon as you are born. I said when the moment you are from the moment you are born, you are actually headed towards death. It's just when it happens. It's not okay, fine, fine.
Would you like to move on to the next question?
Oh, audience.
Yeah. What are you guys? If you could be a mythical creature, what would you be? Let us know. Even if you're watching this as a recording, we'd love to hear your comments.
This is a very distracting life for me because I feel like I'm like not actually focused on my towel. Yeah. I, and also finding the camera angle and not tangling off screen and stuff like that. Um okay, so our next question is what is your current favorite tangle? I think Stephanie should answer this because well the whole of Inktober was decided on by her and I'm very sure that she has more tangles on her mind than all of us.
I feel like whenever I don't know what to draw, I always draw Prantom and Buka. My current favorite tangle. Mm, from the Inktober tangles list, I think I've recently been exploring things with the Tangle Snack by Thomas Padros. I think that is a cute tangle. In terms of drawing, there's a tangle that I've drawn on one of the Instagram lives that I found on. So I have a Facebook friend who is currently traveling, and she took photos of her trip, and then on one of the photos is a picture of this ornate door, and then I lifted that pattern from the door and then turned it into a tangle. So it's based off of flux. You can see it here. And I'll be teaching in one of our Claim Your Calm classes happening in November. Next month of classes. Yeah. So that's been I guess two of my recently favorite tangles. Debbie, how about you?
I have to admit that I haven't been looking at Inktober that much, or rather as much as I would like, because I've been very busy with other projects. Um, so I can't really speak for the ones in Inktober. But I kind of like Susan's Tangle Giferi. So Susan has a tangle by the name Giferi. I think she just put it up on the blog actually. Yeah, like a couple of days ago. So that is one of the things that I've been thinking about, tangles that I've been thinking about. Um, I would say that I rely on hollies a lot, as well as I draw a lot of hollies as well as a lot of vertigo. So I'm still in that phase. Um, I never used to like vertigo at one point. So for me, it's kind of still fresh that I am trying to adapt and adjust to liking vertigo, which also actually is a versatile tangle. Mm, I think that's about it for me because I'm quite a boring. In a way, I don't really have a lot of variety in the same tangles that I use. I use almost the same tangles all the time. I think it's soothing to me that way. You know, like it makes me feel calmer. It reduces the need for making choices or decisions. So I tend to stick to pretty much the same thing. I find it soothing. So it's okay to not like always change and have different tangles also. I mean, that's up to you, see? Yeah. But I get it lah. I mean, I'm a boring tangler. I'm probably the first one to admit that, you know? Yeah. Steph, my Sumu looks weird eh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also starting to.
Yours looks weird eh?
This one I'm like, what's going on?
It's kind of like easy eh. Like the more I draw it, the more it feels like easy. But I think easy has a different starting stroke. Yeah. So, what other tangles? Recently, I discovered someone has or rather, Dolly Boland has a tangle called Sparkle Web. Sparkle Web, yeah, and that was pretty fun to do. Yeah. Steph is looking for something.
No, found it.
Sparkle Web? Oh, easy. Yeah, it kind of looks like that, right? It's just flipped. Like some of the, the M is flipped. Yeah, but it kind of same family lah, you know.
Yeah.
Same family. Maybe I should draw one here. How do you feel? Do you want to go on to the next question or continue? Yeah, why ah? And then I don't have time to draw, I feel.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And also I'm at a very strange angle, so I am very afraid to be tangling off the screen.
What other mythical creatures are there? Come, let's ask Mr. Google. I'm just wondering, can or not? List of mystical creatures. Dragon, unicorn. Oh, werewolf. Yes. Chimera. Griffin. Yes, Griffin is very regal looking. Yeti. Leprechaun. Centaur. Pegasus. Ooh, Pegasus. Sounds nice. And imp. Maybe I'm an imp. Yeah. Sounds about right. Doing naughty things. Basilisk. A troll. Pixie. A kappa. Sea serpent. Kelpie. What about like Western mythical creatures are like very much regal and aesthetic looking. Leprechaun is okay lah. No, but I mean like Eastern mystical creatures like Toyo and like what kind of what's the it's a lot of creepy urban legends things, you know. You know? Like the
What's the one?
yeah, I'm trying to think.
I don't know what you have in your mind, Steph. I can't tell you. Yeah, she's looking at me like, what's the one? I'm like, what's the one?
The one lah.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Forgot.
Why is it Western and Eastern?
Yeah, Eastern got also have what?
Eastern, there are dragons also what?
Yeah.
So? No, what's your point?
Then
Wait,
got,
what is the point you're
they got
making?
different kinds.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Got like 貔貅, got 貔貅, got 青鳞, got 妖怪, got what? Moon rabbit. So bad. She called me a 妖怪. Got Moon rabbit is my mother made a C class for CCT.
Is your mother?
No, well, I mean she's born in the year of rabbit. You know the story of the jade rabbit, right? Actually, it's very weird. Because I was helping her edit her video, right? Then I was listening to the script, right? the the heavenly emperor came down to earth dressed as a beggar. Then he went to the forest. Then he felt that animals were more honest than humans, so he wanted to find animal to make the celestial pill that will give people longevity. So he want to find the most honest animal. So he's in the forest and he finds a fox, a monkey, and a rabbit. Then he said, "I'm very hungry. Can you all give me something to eat?" So the fox, very smart, go and find some fish for him. Then the monkey also very clever, go and find some berries for him. Then the rabbit cannot find anything. Then he feel very sad. He walked back to find the beggar, who is actually the jade, the heavenly emperor. And then he was so sad about it. Then he see that the emperor is eating the fish being cooked on the fire, open flame, and then he was eating the berries. And then the rabbit is so sad about it that he threw himself into the fire to sacrifice himself for the emperor. I'm like, what? And then the emperor decided that because of the rabbit's selflessness, he shall be the chosen one to make the heavenly elixir. Okay, so the first problem I have is if I'm the monkey and the fox, I'll be very upset. Yeah, I am. I went through so much trouble to get you this food for you. And then the rabbit cannot get anything, then throw himself into the fire. Don't know for what, so dramatic. Then he get to be chosen. Okay, never mind. Then the rabbit went up to heaven. Then he gets to make the elixir. So basically, you are selfless, and then you get put to a lifetime of hard labor. You have to sit there and go and make the heavenly elixir.
So the moral of the story is that if you are lazy, you'll live longer, lah, is it? Or yeah, if you are lazy, you escape a lifetime of hardship. Is that your point?
No, but he lazy what?
Who is lazy?
The rabbit. He cannot find the rabbit.
He cannot find, not that he's lazy, right? Cannot find means he cannot find, ah.
He cannot find carrots or something, right?
How is that lazy though? It cannot find versus never go and find is different thing, right?
Is that the moral of the story?
Probably to you lah, yes lah.
No, I haven't finished the story.
Okay, she wants me to mute. She has more nonsense to spew.
So, so the rabbit went up to heaven to make the elixir of longevity for all of these heavenly saints. Then apparently he's so benevolent and so nice. Then his fur started to glow. And then it glowed so much that people started to refer to him as the Jade Rabbit. So that is the story of the Jade Rabbit. So, I mean, I guess you get eternal life, but you get sent to heaven to do hard labor forever and ever. But at the very least, you get glow in the dark fur. So is that a good a good trade off? I don't know. Maybe 在做什么? What are you doing? The bees
Trying to improve the video quality a little bit. Not very sure about this angle, yeah. And I was thinking whether my camera was like smart because it wasn't focusing very well just now.
Okay, so that was a segue into the story of the Jade Rabbit. Such a strange story. What am I supposed to take away from that story though?
No, but see, you made this comment about Eastern and Western and different mythical creatures, right? And then you said that the Western ones are more benevolent. But then you talk about the Jade Rabbit who is benevolent, what?
I never said they are benevolent. I never said they are benevolent. I said that when people think of mythical creatures, most of the time, like even with me also, you think about the Western kind of mythical creatures. What about the Eastern kind of mythical creatures, right? Because we also have our own stories, our own tales and all, right? So it's interesting. And also, like David was saying, there's also similarities. Like, for example, there's the Western form of the dragon, but Chinese culture also have dragons, just that they look slightly different. Yeah. So it's interesting also, different cultures halfway around the world have similar ideas. Just they look different. But I feel I was saying it's not benevolent. It's that they look more aesthetically pleasing. Like talk about fairies and all. 妖怪 and all so scary.
How do you know they look more aesthetically pleasing? So you have actually seen them?
Portrayal lah. Portrayal. I don't know, maybe the artist to draw the the 妖怪 very handsome.
But that's the way of drawing, what? That's the artist's impression, what? It's not.
So it's actually the 妖怪 is handsome, right?
No, but if you get a good artist and the artist portray in a certain way versus an artist who prefers to have like a very dark way of drawing his creatures, then that is the artist's discretion, right? It's not necessarily the what are you trying to say? You're trying to say that because the artists are like that, so therefore they are not aesthetically pleasing or what?
It's just they make it look scary.
I think you watch too much Disney.
Well, oh, what was I gonna say? I can't remember. The thought left my brain.
She got me to mute and then she forgot what she wanted to say. Well done, Stephanie. It's a stressful life. Well, I guess a lot of it is artist discretion, because like in Korea they have the nine-tailed fox. But all the huh? Yeah, so that's my point. They're Eastern.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what's
Oh.
yeah, so my point is that you're saying that the Western portrayal of mythical creatures are more elegant and pretty and whatever, right? But I'm saying it's an artist's impression, it's a discretion of the artist who's drawing it. Because let's say in Korea, right, you have the nine-tailed fox, and the idea and concept behind the nine-tailed fox is kind of like instead of it's kind of like a very beautiful human being, not necessarily male or female, or both or whatever. And then it's actually a creature in disguise most of the time. And there are a lot of stories and fables around this creature. But they're all drawn very well. What? I mean, they're all portrayed very prettily, and I mean, if you watch a modern day drama, there have been a few of nine-tailed foxes. They're all portrayed very well. What? So it's kind of like how the person wants to interpret the creature. So I could have like a very human looking or very humane looking werewolf, right? But that's up to how the story is being told, right?
Handsome werewolf. Anyways. There's also like different like apparently the Western sirens are not meant to, or like the mermaids are not meant to look pretty. Meant to do this. Yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. It's like the biblical interpretation of angels. So a lot of people think that like angels supposed to look very nice, right? But actually, the biblical version is actually they look quite scary. That's why when angels appear in front of people, they will say like, "Do not be afraid." Like that's what I heard lah.
If something appears out of the sky, whether it's pretty or not, you'll still be terrified. That's my point. You don't have to look ugly to terrify someone. I mean, you don't. Yeah, but she's trying to get me to mute, but I'm going to hold my peace and finish my sentence because you don't have to be pretty or ugly to terrify the limelights of someone, right?
Oh my god.
And then if you want to put the fear of God in someone, you don't have to dress fashionably or elegantly or wear the best clothing, right? You can still terrify someone. And if you are a shepherd in the fields at night and it's so damn dark, there's no electricity, there's no running water, there's nothing, and suddenly you have this thing appear in front of you, and your natural reaction, your instinct will tell you to be run for your life or something, right? So that's why they say do not fear. It's not necessary that they look ugly. That's why they have to tell you, don't fear me, I look ugly. I mean, think about the context, right? If you are in the dark, if someone just appears there, will you freak out? I think I'll freak out more if the person looks nice, you know? Like creepy nice. I know, right?
Ah, the biblical story. the, the angel appear before the shepherd. Do not be afraid. Then the shepherd is like, do you think angels get tired of that? Like, do not be afraid. Then the person is like screaming, like, this again. Oh my goodness. Whew.
Okay, because I think Stephanie had a very good workout laughing her lungs out. We actually left with two questions. So do you want to forge on to the two questions or do you want to talk about how or yeah, I also have not much because we haven't been drawing. You've been busy laughing. And then I've been trying to be like back and forth. Yeah, so I'm very afraid to be drawing off the screen now. Maybe I should just ask the next question and then let you think for a while. Okay, what are you grateful for right now? And three things. So maybe you should like take a moment to think about it while we draw.
And if you'd like to answer the question, if you're on Instagram chat or if you're in watching this as a recording and you'd like to answer the question, what you're grateful for, you can let us know in the comments section. We always like hearing from you. Do you think anyone in the Bible, Debbie, has calmly received news from an angel?
Probably.
If like someone appeared and say that like, oh, I'm a messenger of God, like how do you prove? Will you ask them to prove that they are a messenger?
Why are we talking about these though?
Out of my curiosity, Ken.
Well, I think that when you encounter a messenger from God, right, it's very hard for you to deny the fact that he's a messenger from God. You know?
Pop in front of you, is it?
They what?
They pop up in front of you.
Why do they have to pop up anywhere?
Then you know it's true.
Well, I well, I guess it starts out with the fact that, you know, some people do believe in angels, right? And then some people don't, right? So if you are the kind that does believe in angels, right? You won't be so terrified as the person who doesn't believe in angels, lah, I guess. I suppose, right? Because technically, if you believe that something can exist, then there's a possibility for it in your mind that it will happen to you, right? One day or something. But then if you don't, then there isn't a possibility at all. Then when it does happen, it might freak you out a bit more, I guess. But you see, one thing I wanted to talk about just now when I said like it's an artist impression is because you know like Disney they always even their villains look good, you know. No, even their villains are drawn very well. They are meant to be drawn well so that they can sell movies. Basically, they can bring in the crowd, right? Yeah. Even their villains are drawn very well. So I think what I was talking about was more like, you know, if the storyteller wants to make the villain look good, you can also twist the story to make the villain look good lah. And you can also make the villain dress nicer than the good guy, maybe, right? Yeah. So it's not a not an impossibility is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Steph is very intrigued by this question. I'm actually wondering why we came back to it because we were talking about like our favorite, like current favorite tangles, and then we came back to this one. Yeah. Yeah. Why does this question intrigue you so much, Steph?
Prolonged airtime. Prolonged airtime. And then also, it's an interesting topic to think about, I think, because I think from the point of view of like exploring different cultures, right? And how they like portray stories is an interesting concept to explore. Like how these creatures came about, why they are there. And then when you think about like the religious point of view, so it's a different aspect to explore as well, right?
So angels are religious, is it? Is that your point? But then I've seen people who don't actually believe in God, but they also believe in angels, eh? Yeah, so I don't think it's a really I mean it's kind of like you don't own the word lah, you know, it's like you even if you are Christian or not, you don't own the usage of the word God. Yeah, it's kind of like McDonald's doesn't own the usage of the word burger, you know, stuff like that. Yeah.
Filet fish. Three things I'm grateful for, Debbie. Have you thought about it? I haven't. Have you guys thought about it? What are three things you're grateful for? I'm grateful for things that I cannot say on air because we haven't released. Okay, I will mask it. I am grateful for the large project that is upcoming in mid-December to mid-January of this year, next year. So mid-December of this year till end of January of this year. Of next year, pardon me. Yo. Dates, huh? Very scary, yeah?
That was very painful, Steph. Can we take it from the top?
From the top, there is a big project that Team 7F5R has been working on for a while. And then we have planned for it to happen starting from mid-December of this year to mid-January of next year. But as of right now, we cannot release more details about it because there's a lot of work behind the scenes. But you guys will know about it as soon as possible. Yeah, and I'm grateful that we have the opportunity to work together as a team to make this a reality.
I need to stop you because the next question is related to the team. So if you answer both questions, you still got to answer the next one. Yeah.
Okay, so that's my thing grateful for number one. What is the thing grateful for number one for you, Debbie?
I'm grateful that we can actually start to close the event accounts for CZTAE 2022. We can start to close, but you know, we still have some more incoming invoices from different vendors, but we can start to actually prepare for closing. And I'm very optimistic that we can close by 1st of November. That means that we can pay our instructors this month as well as make the donations this month. And I'm grateful for that because it's been taking out a huge chunk of my life. It's been draining my energy just to figure out all the accounts and also work with the vendors and the invoices. So for me, it marks a milestone in the conference. So every year, we actually put in about 6 months of work prior to the launch. Um, this year we started a bit later, so it's about 5 months. 5 months in the lead up. I think May we started, right, Steph? Yeah, so I guess for us, when it reaches this stage, right, we can sort of like unwind a little bit more. Because usually when we are very busy running a conference, we really there's no downtime and it gets very stressful, even though, we try to pace things out and we try to spread things out lah. So I'm grateful that we reached this milestone in this year's conference. I was beginning to sort of I'm actually very tired, actually mentally very very tired. So I'm looking forward to taking a little bit of a breather after the accounts close. So I'm very grateful that we're reaching this milestone because that means that I'm nearer to my breather. So I haven't had a breather all year, and for me it's been a very uh in terms of health, it's not been an easy year. So I think I shouldn't push it, and I think a break is necessary. Yeah. So that's my first thing I'm grateful for. I'll go and think of my two other ones.
My thing I'm grateful for, number two, is that I got to spend time with Debbie today. I thought that was nice. We had lunch together. And then we packed some orders that were made over the weekend for our shop. So it's it's been it's been a very busy morning. Well, technically it's more of the afternoon. Yeah, but it's always nice to see Debbie, especially at studio. And then I'll be seeing her tomorrow, and I'll be seeing her again on Saturday. So she was saying like, don't see me enough, is it?
Yeah, the way that she talks is like we don't see each other at all, right? But the thing is, I'm going to see her 3 times this week, which is a lot. Like today, and then tomorrow, and then Saturday. So I don't know what she's going on about. She makes it sound like I hardly appear. It's not true. It's not true. But then she also admits to be like Tinkerbell, no attention and she wants to die or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Mm, I guess I didn't expect that I would be coming into the studio today, but because of the amount of work, just can't be ignored. And also, it makes sense lah for me to come in today because if not, there won't be time towards the end of this week, right? So yeah, and we have class on Friday as well, and she will be seeing me as well. It's just via Zoom. So yeah, she sounds very neglected, but she's not. Yeah. So another thing I'm grateful for right now. Um, I actually slept very well last night. I'm grateful for that because not every night is so successful in terms of sleep. And the previous night I actually had so my neighbors upstairs were making a lot of noise the previous night, and then they woke me up at like 3 a.m. So I wasn't feeling very great most of the earlier part of this week. Let's hope that the next couple of days will be better. Yeah. So I guess for me, I'm grateful for a lot of small things. Small things can add up into big things is my reasoning. Yeah. Oh, Steph, I tried the sumo and I think it looks funny. I hold it up. Not funny. And I don't know why my camera is not focusing. There we go. Yeah. So I think I got it wrong somewhere though, did I? It looks funny, eh? Yeah. It is my first time drawing this tangle, so please bear with me.
Maybe do you have a smaller pair of scissors? I want that one. The white one. Thank you. That means being kicked out of the session again. Oh my goodness. Well, at least one of us stay inside. It's fine, yeah? Okay.
I'm starting to remember why I prefer to film live at my house.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got kicked out again.
I am going to chop up my towel. Cut a little window through it.
Oh, I suddenly thought of an Inktober thing that I did. Well, speaking of chopping, so this is a couple of Inktober's ago now. Let me see where I can find my page. So I think this is 2018. Is it 2018, Steph? Oh, maybe I should zoom out. Wait, don't keep me out again. Yeah, man, this camera is scary. Oh, now I can't unzoom, Steph.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see if it works. Okay, so this is my Inktober, I think it's 2018. It's in a Zentangle Inc pre-strung sketchbook journal. So as you can see, it's a very well-loved journal. Yeah. Well, there's a FYIC as well. So FYIC as well. Well, this is the one that I wanted to show you guys. So this is Inktober Tangles 2018. And I thought it would be fun to cut out the previous page. So I cut out a feather or a quill, right? I'm not sure why I did that though, but it was a risk that I took. And then it kind of, I thought it was quite neat though. Yeah. So speaking of chopping up things, yeah, so this, I probably don't have any more space in this sketchbook though to chop up more pages. Yeah. Do I have any more to show? Let me see. Yeah, so I chopped out another page here just to create like visual interest. Yeah. Yeah, so Steph is busy cutting up her towel. So you're left with me. I guess I'm also quite grateful that as I was saying just now about my sleep, right? Really it's the little things lah, because you know with the kind of schedules that we run and operate, I really do need my sleep and I really do need my health to get better. So if you can't sleep, your health can't improve, right? So that's one reason why I'm grateful for the small things. Yeah.
You grateful for Zen again? You're joining Zen again this year?
It hasn't kicked in yet because I think, well, I bought Zen again as a 40th birthday gift to myself, but I haven't gotten anything from the. I mean, I signed up and I paid up like in April or something or March, so I haven't heard from them yet. They sent an email today, asking us to try and log in on certain things. So that was the only update I've had so far. And also to confirm my address, but I haven't had a notification for the package. So Zen again comes with a kit that they will send over to Singapore. But I haven't received the DHL notice yet, so I sent in a query for that. It hasn't sort of kicked in yet, you know, like I'm still I I think the excitement will take me a while to get to, I guess. I'm not like hopping up and down yet. Maybe I might later, don't know. Yeah, I guess another thing I'm grateful for is that the weather has been quite cool lately in Singapore, rather than quite hot, which is our norm. Yeah. So I guess it's just the small things lah. Because when it's a very hot day and stuff, right, you tend to feel like by the afternoon you tend to feel very tired and fatigued. Yeah, and Steph is running off, so that means she doesn't want to unmute herself. Yeah, so she's actually looking for supplies. I think she's yeah. So I actually started like I think maybe I'll just talk about my towel. So this is a Ladies Gang Magical Tinted Towel by Stephanie, and it's Rambling Rose Pink and Yodeling Yellow. And for some reason, I don't know why, I decided to put my Sumu at the left hand corner of the towel, and I'm actually struggling because I don't know what to do next with it. I think it's the placement of the tangle that's making me struggle. Yeah, so that's Sumu. And then my other towel, which is slightly smaller, so the pink towel is a apprentice size towel. I'm holding a blue towel, which is purple and blue towel, which is slightly smaller. This is a different brand of watercolor paper. This is only 20% cotton, so the big one is 100%. So you get to see like us playing with all kinds of different papers. This one has Bravensword, so I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8-sided Bravensword here. And then I've got Finery, and then a little bit of Sumu tucked in here and there, and Easy, which I think is Sumu's sister, and Finery growing out of here as well, and then some Hollies. So I may or may not continue this towel. I'll see how I feel. I feel like it's not very done, but then again, I'm also stuck as to what I should do with this corner or this segment. I think I've also turned it into a dingbat by giving it a frame. So we'll see what happens next for this towel. So those are my towels, Steph. She's not back at her desk yet. Yeah, she's running all over the place. Yeah, don't run. Yeah, in case you trip. Yeah.
As Debbie would say, don't die in the studio.
Speaking of morbid.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe that's how we get along. Yeah, I'm going to cut some black cardstock paper. Then I thought mounting it, so I might glue it down. Try making into tangled facets. Maybe.
Actually, it'd be cute.
Yep.
Actually, it'd be cute if you chew in some bijou towels, like tuck it in, you know. Not black lah. It will just disappear into the. I think I have a couple inside the.
Oh, but put where?
Tuck it in ah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, but not black lah.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. Let me go and grab you some colors.
White? Yeah, white would be nice. This is turning into a multi-step project. I don't think I've ever attempted something so complex on an Instagram live. Very what? Very ambitious, yeah. Very, very.
Where are your?
Oh, bijous are in here.
Or you could put like a translucent towel.
Oh my goodness. This is too much.
Yeah, actually it's quite cute, you know, when you think about it, but it's too big lah.
Oh yeah. Well, they're very wasted. Eh? Just cut it. Look like oh, bijous are in here.
Or I could grab my own. Sorry.
I think so. Inside this one. Okay. So I should say my Next grateful thing. No, this is 5 tile. My next grateful thing. I am grateful that 3, 2, 3. I don't know. I am grateful that people have been having fun with the Inktober Tangles list. I've enjoyed looking at everyone's very beautiful artworks. And, like I mentioned last week, it's interesting to borrow people's ideas. Still, might have to cut a slit into here if I want to put 3. This is a nice idea. Yeah, thanks, Debbie. Now I need to find glue, of which I don't know where to find. So we have double-sided tape. Okay lah, tape lah. Can lah. Can I have scissors also? It's good to have Debbie.
Yeah, she works me very hard. Yeah. So actually, the secret is that she's not happy to have me here. She's happy to have someone to grab her stuff for her here. Like, scissors please, glue please, tape please, you know? Yeah. Well, I guess why we started this topic, so if you have attended a few of our live sessions, you'll realize that this is a repeat question. But it's a repeat question on purpose, you know, because it helps to remind us to be grateful for the things that we may overlook in our busy weeks. So my team, well, we'll talk about our team a little bit more in a bit, but we are currently very busy, and we are very appreciative of, you know, being reminded to be grateful, I guess. Yeah.
So what's your grateful thing number 3, Debbie?
I thought I said already. I said sleep. I said, yeah. Well, I said quite a lot of things whilst you were running around the studio looking for your things.
Yeah, I was supposed to explain about
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I was supposed to explain about my tile. Yeah, so it started off with this is Fabriano Medio Evelis. You can tell from the back. I don't know whether can you see on camera. Yes, you can. I started off with a triangle grid that I then abandoned, and I tinted the front. This is Lindy's Gang Magicals. And then I had the bright idea because I've been drawing a lot of radial shapes lately. Like here you see you go with a lot of radial tangles. And then on one of my classes for Clean Your Calm November will also be radial. And then Debbie is like, too much circle. And then that comment played in my head. I'm like, okay, let me just do something slightly different. So I decided I'm gonna chop my tile up for better or worse. And then then she decided that maybe adding bijoux would be a good idea. So here I am making that into a reality. I'm planning to, or was planning, I don't know whether I have time for shading today, but I was planning to add shading in Faber-Castell's watercolor pencil, Albert Dürer. Nobody tells us how to pronounce these things. So yeah, because Fabriano Medio Evelis paper is actually really, really good paper. So I thought like, oh, if I'm going to use like high quality watercolor paper, I might as well use it. Yeah, use it to the best of my ability. Make sure that I'm using water-based mediums rather than just dry colored pencils, right? So that's my plan. This might have to be a 2-part series though. Okay. I have to revisit it at a later date. We'll see how it goes. What are you guys working your Inktober tangles on? I have been posting the tiles that I pre-prepared. So it's the same tiles shown in the Inktober Tangles 2022 handout. But separately, I've also been attempting the challenge this year. I did try to make it manageable. So a lot of times people try to work really large, or like they make really complex projects that they then aren't able to complete on a yeah, it's fine. You don't have to finish Inktober Tangles within the month. The idea of the challenge, you must always remember the spirit of Inktober is always just getting into the habit of drawing something every day. That's the main purpose of the challenge. But if you can't draw for a particular day, or if you decide to abandon your project halfway, it's always fine. You can always continue next month or the month after that, or even wait till next year. You know, I've seen people do the previous year's Inktober on a different year. That's fine. Yeah.
No, I was adjusting the camera angle actually. Yeah. So actually, it's no, well, because we run so many different challenges throughout the year. Inktober and the Fragments challenge isn't the only two that we run. So we run like every Tuesdays. We have like a Tuesday prompt that goes out, and then we also have a fortnightly prompt, which is every 2 weeks. Um, the main idea is to just keep on drawing, you know. So there's no deadline to any of our Tangle challenges or prompts. And I've been asked this question a few times, like, if I don't want to do it now, can I do it, like in January or February? And the answer is yes, because we never take down our posts. Like, once it's out on our website, once it's up on our website, we hardly ever remove it again. So it's always gonna be there, and you know where to look for the stuff. So that's something to consider when if you don't have time to commit in October and stuff like that. So I personally don't think I finished last year's Inktober actually. Yeah, so that's fine as well. Because actually October, I think I shared previously, October is the month where I prepare for the FYIC challenge that happens in January. So usually my October is pretty busy. And also if we are hosting the conferences and the classes, it kind of gets a bit much on my schedule. It doesn't stop me from trying though. So I have a piece at home. I didn't bring it today, but I have a piece at home that is a set of 4 or 5 tiles. And in those tiles, I actually attempt the Inktober challenge. I just haven't had time to really put down more tangles yet. So we'll see what comes of that. And if you are someone who are a very slow tangler like I am, don't let what other people do or the pace that other people take become an issue for you, because for example, this year was such a crazy year for me that I actually only completed my own FYIC project. I think it was in June or something. So, well, life happens, and don't make this another area of stress for yourself. Yeah, it's well and good to sort of draw every day, but if you really can't fit in more into your schedule, we understand as well. And there's really no timeline involved when we are concerned, because the handouts will be there all year. And well, we don't take down even last year's one, so they're all there. Yeah, you can always start. I think someone was doing like 2020, right? Yeah, someone was doing 2020 in the group. So don't feel that there is any pressure. It's just definitely not what we want for you guys to feel pressure. My tile is kind of like coming on very slowly. So I actually progress onto highlighting because I am kind of a bit stuck with this tile. I'm not sure what I'll do next. For my blue and purple tile, and then for my red and yellow tile, or pink and yellow, I drew the Sumu in a corner and now I regret it. So I'll think about this later. I'm not very sure how this one will turn out, but we'll see. Yeah, so I've got 2 tiles. I actually have a couple more here, but I don't think I have time to get to them. And this one is pretty scary to do because if you can see, it's got like tons of mica powder in it. So I think this one might kill a pen. Huh, Steph? Can you see the mica?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my tiles. For the last question, Steph? Is that a yes or no?
It's really yes, I ever be.
Steph is like, oh my gosh, my towel. And she's like sticking and I don't know what she's doing.
My best! I'm doing my best!
Do you need help?
No!
Okay. Well, I just thought to ask. Yeah. So, okay, say one good thing to someone on your team and tell them why you appreciate them.
Answer this question.
Yeah, so once a month we're going to answer this.
No.
Haven't you noticed the pattern yet?
Run out of good things.
Run out of good things? Okay, fine. Then you're not going to get a good thing. I'll give it to Susan. I think we should give Steph like 2 minutes to tidy up her towel. She's struggling
Hold on.
and giving people motion sickness maybe.
So sorry. It's so funny. I'm so sorry if I'm giving anyone genuine motion sickness. Usually these kind of craft things are done off screen when we're doing tutorials. Or they're sped up. Yeah. So you got editing magic, right? Okay, here we go. First bijou. Here we go. It's a good idea though, I will say. Here we are. Hehe. So I actually filled in these sections in black ink rather than cutting them out. Okay, and then I've also realized that I've stuck it a little slanted, so we're gonna have to trim the edges a little later on. It's okay, we're not gonna think too much about that. And then I'm thinking perhaps I will stick this. Yes, like this. What do you think? Like this? Gaps the corner. Fancy. Okay, so I was supposed to be answering a question. Say one good thing about someone on your team. Yes. Can I do a 2-for-1 deal? I compliment both you and Susan. Debbie is
What about Daniel?
giggling. Daniel hasn't been doing much work.
Oh my goodness. Okay, tomorrow you cannot log into your stuff and then get voted off of the platform. Then you realize
Sorry,
how much work he's been doing.
cannot log into Thinkific suddenly. Why ah?
Access revoked.
Debbie and Susan have been working on this super secret project that I also cannot reveal much about, but I think you guys will really enjoy it. And I think so. I'm the one. It's how do I say this without revealing too much? I have done quality checks on this particular project, and I appreciate all of the hard work that they've put into it. Yeah, and they've kept to the timeline. So that's an amazing feat in itself. Yeah. We've concurrently with CCTAE running and all, we've had to do organizations and logistics, and then Debbie has been liaising DHL, so it's not like we're just completing a project. You're completing a project with other things running as well in the background. So that's an amazing feat in itself. Yeah, I'm very proud of them. So that's one thing I wanted to mention to the team. How about you?
Nearly didn't make it.
You nearly didn't make it. Yeah, fair enough. Nearly didn't make it. So what about you, Debbie? appreciated. Debbie said, you're supposed to appreciate us.
You said one thing to your team,
Uh-huh.
and then show your appreciation.
You want a little dance or something? Show your appreciation. I mean, I can give you all cards if you all want. But I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
We're just teasing her about it because yeah, she usually just takes our things. Yeah, she usually just takes our things and breaks our things. Yeah, yeah. So just teasing her about it. Yeah, and you shouldn't dance. You might break something else. Maybe I should film what she's doing. It's hilarious, actually. Yeah. So yeah. So without Susan, we are quite uh unhinged in the studio. Yeah. I really am lost with this Sumu tile. I think I have to let it go. Like the more I stare at it, the more blank I feel. Yeah. I'm probably gonna what? What you want this is that your way of telling me you want it or what? Yeah. So I'll just put it aside for now. I just don't want to look at it anymore. Yeah. So so speaking of the top secret project, yeah, I guess it's a mark of the team coming together and managing to sort of stick to the timeline against the odds. Quite against the odds lah. Yeah. I had a few moments of like, oh my god, you know, like are we gonna make it, you know? So in a way, uh I cannot take credit for it because I think Susan also has been very put in a lot as well for the project. I also put in a lot, but I think Susan also she had to put in more because I was busy elsewhere and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a miracle that we managed to pull it off because for a while it looked like and you can even ask Ildika. I was telling Ildika about it. That you know we could manage it on such a tight time frame, and this is a project that usually people take minimally 10 months to a year or even more. So we managed to get it done in like record time. And one thing about Susan that I like and I also don't like sometimes is that she's very ambitious. She wants to do everything, and that is charming as well as concerning. You know? Yeah. So when you lead a team like ours, it can be quite stressful because everyone's logging in at different times. So even our interns are overseas. So we have a very different way of working compared to most people, I think. We are not sane, first of all. Not even normal. I think it's kind of not normal because of the way that we work and also the amount of work that we have is also not normal. So based off of that, right, I think just having Susan come in when she did and trust us like she does is a miracle in itself. And so what happened was we actually asked her when she came on board what sort of project she would like to do. And this was the project that she proposed. Again, not saying what the project it is. So she proposed this project and she proposed the timeline and because we are all busy, she's also busy with other stuff. It's really a miracle that we managed to pull this off lah, I guess. So I like her for being adventurous and very gung ho in a sense, you know, like she's always eager to try out new things. Well, my team is very good at that. My team is very dynamic and very young at heart. Although the only really young person is Stephanie in our team. My team is one that really enjoys trying out new ideas. So I'm proud of them for that. But also at the same time, right? Being movers and shakers, they don't know when to stop, you know? So sometimes when I lead this team, I feel like I'm forever the one trying to rein them in. And sometimes I feel bad for having to rein them in, but I have to tell them like we don't have the budget for that, or that's not gonna work because why? And I hate to do that because I feel like I'm dampening their spirits, or I'm like taking away their ideas, or stressing them out and stuff like that. But I have to say no at some point. I can't, well, there's always a bottom line that has to be looked at. And because by virtue of me being the one that's looking at the bottom line, most of the time I have to be the one telling them no. And I don't particularly enjoy it. But someone has to do it. So I'm actually very happy that my team or our team has grown so much and begun to sort of gel together very well. Um, we are starting to see that we are very close, and we're starting to see that even Susan can tell what Stephanie is thinking now sometimes, and then Stephanie can also sort of like gauge what Susan is up to and stuff like that. So, I mean, Steph and I were always closer. So, for me, this is a milestone that has to be celebrated, and I'm very thankful that the team is a very open-minded team, very generous team. I don't think I've met more generous people. Uh, although for Stephanie it took a while lah, right? Because Steph, yeah. So last time Steph would be like, no, this is mine, stuff like that. And yeah, she doesn't trust people so easily. Probably because of childhood trauma and stuff like that. Yeah. So in terms of the kind of things that we do, a lot of the stuff that we do hasn't been tried before in the Zentangle realm. I think, yeah. So based off of that, right, I really have to give it to them because they trust. Sometimes they trust me even though there are no results. There's no proven track record on certain things, and yet they still trust me. So that is something that cannot be bought lah. It can't be replaced, can't be bought. I don't think even if we encountered different teams from here that we could replace that fact, the trust. Yeah. And I think my team also we stun people at how honest we are. Like we talk about things online in live shows that nobody wants to talk about sometimes. And we are very honest with how we feel. And we process together as a team, and we process separately as individuals. So I think all of that is vital to bringing the 7FR that you see to life. Yeah. And I think for Susan, what I would like to say to her is that she is very hardworking. She's got a lot of things that are going on, but I think the thing I want to tell her is to remember the original focus, like what you set out to do. She may not even watch this recording, it's fine, but my sharing with her is more like it's fine to want to do all kinds of things, but you need to be able to sort of focus when it calls for it, and also for her to gain more confidence in her writing, in her text, in her blogging, in her social media, and also when she talks. So you can hear Stephanie drinking in the background. Sorry about that. She's like, yeah. And yeah, so the joys of having the live show in studio together, right? Yeah. So stuff like that. I appreciate my team for that. And then for Steph, I think so Steph has been working with me for about 4 years now. And I don't think she'll tell you that it's been a bit of roses because we are both very driven characters, and we both believe in doing something well. Although well is a subjective word lah, I would say, right? We both believe in doing things well. Sorry? You talk like a bum. Oh yeah, she is a bum. Yeah, so she believes in things in doing things well. She does believe in doing things well, but she also believes in being a bum. So in her mind, it's like, do I do this now or later or tomorrow or don't do this, you know? Yeah. So for her, it's like either I do and I go to the extreme end of doing, or I totally don't do and I will just skive, which is fine also if you are not responsible for a job or a task, right? Yeah. So that's Stephanie. And I guess for the past 4 years of working together, I think that she has learned a lot, and I think that it has come, full circle for her in some ways. Because now she is learning how to manage our interns and learning how to manage our vendors. And for her, that is not an easy thing for her because I know that, I mean, she's someone who doesn't want to pick up the phone and call anybody, if she can. So for her to actually be orchestrating certain things, it doesn't come easy for her. And she portrays a very extroverted side, but she drains easily as well. So for her, I think this is something that she never had a chance to do, in the sense that in the past she would sort of like find other ways to confront certain things, which is not necessarily the best way of managing a team. So we are building her out on that, I hope. And I hope that, later in our careers, she'll be able to take over the partnership strategically and stuff. But of course, we will all still be around. It's just, different hats, like wearing different hats at different times. So I guess for Steph, I would like to tell her that she's done a good job, and that she went through this whole phase of self-doubt and sort of like self-worth, and it's not been easy on her. But you see, if something is worth doing, right, then you need to fight for it lah, right? You can't just um throw in something and then decide that, oh, I'll do it today, and then tomorrow just decide that no, it's not worth it. It takes a while for projects to gain momentum. And I think that somehow, working with us, she's managed to not just see what we are trying to tell her about gaining momentum and stuff, but also like she's taken a lot of pride in her work now. She is flourishing. I hope she sees it for herself lah, because we see it. Of course, we hope that she also sees it, because you know what? If not, I mean, you need to be proud of yourself. Yeah, you need to be your biggest cheerleader, because sometimes people will always be very busy with their lives. They may not be there to cheer you on all the time, right? So if you need cheering on and stuff, maybe you can be your own cheerleader for a change, and you might be surprised that actually you may not need so much from other people emotionally. So I guess for Steph, I think she's at a place where things are starting to make more sense to her. Like, not to say that they didn't make sense in the past, but she's starting to see certain, why? She's like giggling behind me. What doesn't make sense? Yeah, everything doesn't make sense last time. That's what she said. So I hope that things are starting to come around for her. And she's yelling random stuff now. Maybe I should mute myself and let her yell.
At my last therapy session, I actually told my therapist that he's helped a lot, but that I hope I don't see him anytime soon. And then I told him that I'm growing into my season of joy. And like Debbie said, things are starting to make sense. Things starting to find purpose in doing things, you see. So that's been nice. What about Daniel, Debbie? You said Susan, you said me. And Daniel,
Well, Daniel has had a hard time with me. because by virtue of being my husband, he has first hand or rather first row seats watching my health adventures or misadventures if you would. Yeah. So he's been having first row seats watching my health go downhill and uphill and downhill again. So I I think from a perspective of a wife, he's been very patient already with me and my shortcomings. So I still prepare all our meals and stuff. So some nights I am really so exhausted that really I can't really be there to talk to him all the time, even though I'm physically like next to him. Because I need to tune out or I need to sort of like unwind, you know. So being teachers, right, when we teach, we basically run on fumes sometimes. Have you heard that saying, run on fumes? So it's kind of like that for us also because especially when we're running CCTAE, we're running on fumes. Um, I haven't had a holiday in like ages, as Steph can probably tell you. And so once the pandemic hit, right, it's just been nonstop. And last year has been so horrible. And this year has also been so far quite an adventure in itself because we moved to our new apartment and stuff like that. So he's been taking a lot of housework, taking on a lot of housework as well. He's been doing laundry and he's sometimes been doing cleaning and stuff like that. So um his contributions would be to look after me, I guess, to the team. And also he's been doing a lot of grocery shopping sometimes when I don't have the energy to go. So also on his way back home and stuff like that. So he helps out a lot. And he also hates one of our projects. With Stephanie. So I am happy for this opportunity for them to sort of work together because in all the 4 years that we've been working together, they haven't had a project together yet. So it was a good, I think it was good for them because they are pretty good friends already. It's just that they never had the opportunity to sort of like bounce ideas off each other and sort of communicate about work and stuff. So I think that gradually this will be something that will be valuable to our team because um, it's better to have a barrier-free workplace when it comes to communications. I mean, previously when they worked together, it meant that I had to pass a lot of messages back and forth. And so if let's say I was down or for some reason not available, it just means that work doesn't move, which is not very healthy for a company. And I mean, our size of a company, which is so small, you know. So I think for Daniel and Steph, I think communications is something that needs to be worked on between the both of you. But I think that so far you guys have been showing good improvement already, you know, compared to previous years and stuff. And unfortunately for me, it has to happen that I'm not well, and then you know that's where it comes from, lah. Yeah, maybe when I'm well, you guys should try as well. Like, not just wait until I'm not well, right? Yeah. So for Daniel, I think I'm grateful in that you know he's able to be the non-Zentangle teacher in our team because I mean someone else could be sick of like completely sick of the word Zentangle right now. I got him to add. Yeah, Steph wants to add stuff, so I'm gonna put myself on mute.
Sorry, I unmuted myself too early. I got a thought. I know what's Daniel role. He's not just IT personnel. I thought of I had a thought. Very rare, I have a thought. Daniel is the protector within our company. So he gives external insight. So sometimes, right, maybe the person that we're dealing with, right, is actually what we would consider a friend. So then that taints our perspective, or judgment and things. So sometimes people overstep certain boundaries, and Daniel is there to step in and be like, "Hey, actually, this person are too much. Like if you think about it, she did this, or he did that, and then he should or she should have done this, and then we're like, oh yeah, actually that's true, where in the case where if the company was just me, Debbie, and Susan, we might think like, oh, friends lah, don't like that lah, or maybe it's just a misunderstanding, maybe this person misunderstood us, but actually it's not. It really is that person is taking us for a ride or taking advantage of us. So Daniel is there to step in, and then when he does step in, because very rarely does he step in, but when he does step in, we know that actually it's a serious thing, and then we should pay attention also. So yeah, he's the protector of the company. And sometimes he gives me perspective like, hey, why are you giving special treatment to this person? And I'm like, yeah, why am I giving special treatment to this person? So it gives me perspective on other things as well. Where like sometimes I shouldn't be too nice in that sense. People will take advantage of that niceness. So it's a good reminder to have, especially in interpersonal relationship is different from business relationship, right? Like you can still be cordial, you can still be nice to people. Between CZTs also, you can treat them as you would a friend, but then Daniel is also there to remind me especially that being nice is one thing, being too nice and getting taken advantage of is quite a different story. So yeah, that's my nice thing about Daniel. Also, just now I was saying he don't do anything, it's just a joke for those who are new here. That's the relationship that he and I share. It's kind of like a sibling relationship. We disturb each other. Like, you never do anything, You never do anything, What's your role? It's like, no, like bumming around. Yeah. So that's that. Yeah.
I am. Yeah, I am. So she's saying that I'm not unmuted, but I was. I was gonna say that yeah, they both have a very bombastic kind of like a argument. Like everybody has to have the last word kind of relationship. And also I think Steph also benefits from his input because she never had like a older male voice that is looking out, for her in a sense, or looking out for the team, that she's in and stuff like that. So in a way, his perspective also helps her to balance off certain things. And sometimes I can be telling her like certain things, but she, for some reason, can't absorb anymore. And when he comes on board to say it, he says it in a different way than I can. And sometimes that is the clicker for her, lah, right? She looks very stressed now, though.
Okay.
No, you're frowning, though.
No, that's just my thinking face.
That's your thinking face.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Then what's your angry face?
No, angry face is crying.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So well, do you want to talk about your updated what seeds?
Sure.
Yeah, I think her towel looks is that silver or okay.
Yeah, so I'm just finishing up my background. I decided to use silver because I used white tiles for my bijous, my little. Which one is the fascinator though, Debbie? This one, the green one. But then this one is on top, ne? Which one is the fascinator?
I would say your entire top layer, the whole piece. like
This whole entire section
yeah.
is the what? The
With the
fascinator. Okay. Then the behind is the what?
This is your what seeds.
Oh, okay.
Like it's a literal
Yeah, man.
what seeds.
Glue on. This is
Then you should sew a yeah. Embroider.
Oh my goodness, Debbie, this project getting more and more complex.
Like a pin,
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, in case you're just joining us, it started off as a single Fabriano Medio Ivelis paper. Then I tinted it. And then I cut out these little spaces within the tile. I I double-sided taped it to a black piece of paper. And then for these smaller sections, I've inked them in black. And then I slotted some visuals in between.
Slaughtered some.
Not slaughtered, slotted. Not slaughtered. Oh gosh. Okay, glued. I just put in. Oh my gosh, English. I tucked in some white visuals. Upon Debbie's recommendation, not slaughtered. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it actually sticks out a little on one side. I thought that was quite interesting. It has a little black border just to make it more three-dimensional. It's kind of like Debbie's style, right? She always likes to ink in the borders with some of the inside parts. So yeah, Sumu is here. And then I should be adding Finery and Bravensword to these onesies. So yeah, today's session we covered 3 tangles from week 2 of Inktober Tangles 2022. We used Finery by Zentangle Inc, Bravensword by Debbie New CZT, this Debbie, our Debbie, and then Sumu by Lin Chiu CZT. The string that we used was...
Why do you need to say our?
There are a lot of Debbies in the CZT community.
There's only one new.
Fair enough. Debbie New CZT. Why did we have old CZT? No, that's my family name. Oh. Yeah, the string was starting from a single point, and we created radial lines coming out from it. You can connect it to the corners, or like Debbie did for her tile, she did multiple lines, so it's more than 4 lines. So up to you. Yeah. So interesting things to do. Oh yeah, and then to close this session, Debbie, you want to share your tiles?
Can I say no? Well, I was doing something else because I got stuck on this tile and then it sort of like blew my mind. Can't think anymore. So I actually was having a headache all of yesterday and then I'm having a headache all of today. So I'm just having a mental block when it comes to tangling. So I probably have to hold it up because how this camera is set up is different from my usual. This was my first tile. It's tinted with Ecoline watercolor inks. It's got Bravensword, Finery and Sumu, as well as Easy and Hollis. So turn it into a dingbats. I'm not sure what I'll do with it next, but I don't think it's done. Like, kind of, yeah. So this was my first tile. My second tile, so this tile was tinted by Steph, like I said, it's Magicals. And I made the mistake of putting Sumu at too near the border, or rather like in a corner. And then after that, I sort of went blank in my mind. And I'm not afraid to say that because I think it is important to share the realities of being an artist is you sometimes hit a blind, like a mental block. And it's okay to sort of lose sight of what you want to do for a while and then leave it and then come back again later. It's all part of the process. I wouldn't say that I look at a tile and I immediately know what I want to do and it always turns out right. That is something that probably happens in the ideal world. But you see, in reality, it's like it's okay to take your time. And well, who's rushing you anyway? What are you competing for, right? So for me, I do like to take my time. And today is a day where my brain isn't just very functional. Neither is my camera actually or my phone. So as you can see, some parts of the camera angles don't work here. So usually I have been shooting live from my home, which is a different setup. So these were my 2 tiles. I'll probably complete it later this week. And I created a tile for Stephanie. Okay. Yeah, so this is I tried to do Wall Flow by Susan Yeo, but it looks like Hollies.
Okay.
So it is Wollies or Hall Flow.
Oh no.
What? So, yeah.
And then I'd like to conclude this session by just sharing with you what I've been working on for Inktober. Debbie gave me this little accordion booklet, and then she had Tango on the front. I added some shading and watercolors, although she said, wear shading. Don't look any different, but there is a bit lah. There is a bit of difference. What kind of nonsense? So I've been slowly adding to it. Yeah, I think we've ended with sock, if I'm not mistaken, was the last one. Yeah. So lots of fun. If you'd like to watch a replay of today's session, you can go to our Instagram page at 7forest5rivers or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/7f5rstudio. We'll be posting our completed art pieces on our personal Instagram pages. Debbie is at tangled.pursuits. I'm at halfpen_will_draw. Susan didn't join us for this session, but you should see her next week. She is at susanyo.czt. And if you tangle along with us, please post your artworks in the 7F5 Art Challenge group on Facebook. We'd love to see what you've created. Do tag your tiles for Inktober Tangles with the hashtag InktoberTangles2022. And if you tangle along with us, you can also use the hashtag 7F5Art Challenge. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you again next week, Wednesday, 2:45 p.m. And we'll be tangling for week 3 of Inktober Tangles.
Thank you for joining us. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.